Hello and welcome to The Point. Today we're going to be talking about a fascinating topic called irreducible complexity. We're going to be giving examples. So Richard, are you excited? I'm excited about this program.
Good. Well, so am I. I tell you what, I'm so sorry that our young children and the young people at university are taught about evolution, and they never seem to be taught anything about creation. The fact is that the Bible is perfectly clear that God created the universe and he created humans as well. We're told in Luke chapter 3 in the genealogy of Jesus that Adam is the son of God, not the son of a monkey. Irreducible complexity. What on earth am I talking about? So I'll give you an example. I have a human brain. Now, the human brain is the most sophisticated computer in the universe. It's unbelievably complex, far more complex than the biggest computer on planet Earth, which is in China. And it's about the size of a large, tall 10-story building, this large supercomputer in China. But your brain is far more complex than that. Now, our brain requires lots of things, but just for example, requires oxygen all the time and a constant supply of glucose for energy all the time. If you cut off the oxygen to my brain, within 30 seconds I'll be unconscious, and after 3 minutes I'll be dead. And the same with blood glucose as well. If you lower my blood glucose, I'll start fitting, and then I'll go unconscious, and then I'll die. Now, you cannot have something evolving in a primordial slime 3.8 billion years ago, little bits by little bits, and slowly becoming a brain, because a brain is a fully functioning computer. That's what it is. It's far more sophisticated than the supercomputer in China. And you can't have something evolving. No, it's incredibly complex. It's so complex that it must be fully functioning as a fully functioning central nervous system computer when we're first conceived, and when we're growing in our mother's womb, as in Psalm 139, we're fearfully and wonderfully made.
They had to be all there in working order right from the word go.
Excellent.
God created and orchestrated all these organs and all these functions to simultaneously orchestrate them all to work together like an amazing symphony. You don't have a string instrument coming in now and then a percussion coming in a bit there and then a little bit of this here and keyboards there and timbales. It's all got to be together, and God created that wonderfully, as it says in
Yes.
Psalm 139.
Yes.
So wonderful. That's irreducible complexity. And I think we're going to show that in one of the fun facts. And this fun fact talks about the irreducible complexity with red blood cells, that they could never have evolved by chance.
Hello, my name is Richard Kent, and today I want to tell you that red blood cells in our circulatory system never ever evolved by chance in the primordial slime. No, our red blood cells were created by God. Let's have a look at our red blood cells. We've got millions and millions and millions of red blood cells circulating around our body in the circulatory system, and we've got 60,000 miles of blood vessels in our circulatory system with red blood cells going through all of these cells, and each individual red blood cell travels through the entire body in 1 minute. And inside the red blood cell is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a very complex molecule, but I want to draw your attention to Fe, which is the element in the middle of that equation. Fe is iron, and iron is toxic, very toxic. In the Victorian era, lots of people died of iron toxicity. So only God could arrange for a toxic substance like iron to be present in our bodies in all of our millions of red blood cells. What do red blood cells do? Well, first of all, they bring oxygen to all of the tissues in our body. Secondly, they take away a waste product called carbon dioxide, which is produced by our metabolism, and take the carbon dioxide back to the lungs using a very important enzyme called carbonic anhydrase, and then secrete the carbon dioxide in the lungs, and it comes out in our breath. Now, here we come to the really important part about the whole business of erythropoiesis, which is the production of red blood cells in the bone marrow. The red blood cells are produced millions at a time in all the long bones in our body. In other words, in the humerus, in our upper arm, in the femur of our long bone of our leg, and our lumbar spine, our pelvis, and a few other bones as well. And there is how erythropoiesis works. But very importantly, the hormone called erythropoietin comes from the kidneys. Now, what happens is the kidneys very cleverly detect when the oxygen content of the blood is going down and produce an enzyme called erythropoietin to tell the bone marrow to start producing some more red blood cells. And here we have the most extraordinary situation. It's not a chicken or the egg. You have to have the bone marrow and the kidneys both present at creation in the case of you and me, at conception in our mother's womb, the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, had to have the information to produce the red blood cells in the bone marrow, and also the erythropoietin in the kidneys, because the kidneys can't survive without oxygen, and nor can the bone marrow. So both systems had to be present at the same time. So here we have a wonderful example of irreducible complexity. You need the bone marrow and you need the kidneys, both created at exactly the same time at conception. They couldn't possibly have evolved separately. They must be both created at conception at the very same time, and only God can create red blood cells. They couldn't have evolved. Thanks for listening, and God bless.